sparrows not worried about tomorrow or the troubles to come. The lilies not thinking about the seasons, the drought or the flood. The tree that's planted by the water isn't fazed by the fire. So why should I be? 'Cause you take good care of me. You take good care of me. You know what I need before I even ask a thing. When you hold me in your hand, kindness that never ends. I'm carried in your love, no matter what the future brings. Now you take good care of me. Cruising out with it, I'm just had a deja vu. I used to buy those shoes, you know, Chanel and new clutch. But fancy things came by love. I'm spending all my time on you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Curtis Walker. Back with CK Live 27105. This is Talks from the Heart. And I guess I decided to come on again tonight and just share a little bit of my thoughts. Listen to a little back to you. Yeah. So what's going on, Winston-Salem? I'm Curtis Walker. I am a blogger and a student. I'm also the creator of a blog which is called Positivity Matters in Life. You can find it at www.positivitymattersinlife.com. I write it on blogger.com. Haven't really written that much lately, but I decided to jump on again. A little talks from the heart for me. Just get into a little something, as they say. A little something. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great day. Today was really beautiful outside. I think the weather was like 50-something degrees, and we can see that the weather has been changing lately. So that's actually a pretty good thing. I like to go outside. One of the things that I like to do is be on the lake a lot, especially when the weather starts turning. A lot of big things going on. Realize that the 1.9 trillion bill has been passed. With some modifications and amendments, definitely went out through the Senate. So that's been good. If you're interested in that, what do the payments look like? I'm guessing that the payments will look like about $1,400 per person for those that make less than $75,000. So, hey, see what happens on that. Still has to go back into the House, and they can either accept the amendments that the Senate has made, or then it gets tricky again. And then, of course, obviously it has to be signed into law by President Biden. So I know people are looking for that. 2019, 2020 has been, and I shouldn't be saying a lot, but 2020 has been quite the year for many people from a financial perspective, from a mental health perspective. So it's different. I think one of the questions I asked somebody was, is it because that we're so used to the social interaction between one another, and now that we don't necessarily have all of that interaction? Some people are working from home. Obviously, the school system is not the same as it was. You have single parents now having to reorder their lives, where they were working and then they were sending their children to either daycare or school or after school care, and now they're actually having to be home. So there's a loss of income, there's the stress that comes with that, and then at the same time their kids are still trying to matriculate through school. So this year, from a parental perspective, it has been different. Obviously, if you're a business owner, specifically if you're a small business owner, knowing that your day-to-day operations are what keep you going, instead of sort of like a franchise or a KFC or a major employer like a Tyson or a Macy's or a JCPenney, you can withstand some of the financial downfall that you've incurred on a year like this, when profits will probably not be as similar to other years. So from that standpoint, you can understand that as well. Then we see the situation down at the border. I don't know if you guys ever watch my man Oscar Del Blue on Facebook. Look him up. I think that he does a really great job of giving you day-to-day reports and direct view of exactly what's going on. The perspective that we may get from other sources, news sources, whether that be online or on television, may not necessarily tell you the entire story. As my friends would tell me in other parts of the country, Americans don't necessarily get the news as other countries do. I like Univision and I like Telemundo, much more graphic and more in detail about a lot of things. So there are things going on there, and then right here in our own community in Winston-Salem, as many people know that hear me sometimes say, I am originally from West Palm Beach, Florida, but I grew up most of my life in New York and Hempstead, Long Island. Originally, we got there, we were in Brownsville, spent some time in Queens, Manhattan, never lived in the Bronx, Staten Island, or any of those things. But the majority of my growth and development happened in New York, in Hempstead. So not being a Winston-Salem native or a North Carolina native, or particularly as a person from the South, I'm quite sure that you can hear the way that I speak, my mannerisms, my tone, and the way that I actually use the English vernacular is probably a little bit different, but sometimes I get to get in my Southerns. I'm just messing with you. I don't really have no Southern drawl or anything like that. So today was uneventful for me. I have classes and I really need to get into that. But I did get some work done, so I had to do a video for a program that I'm involved in. I think it was good. I had the opportunity to review a movie called Lionheart. It's set in Nigeria and Africa, so it's a really great film. If you get an opportunity to look it up on Netflix. It's family oriented, so I think that you would actually like that. The other movie that I did a review on was, if I can remember, Maria Full of Grace. I really like that film. There's a movie on Netflix right now, if I can, Outside the Wire. Outside the Wire, I think it is. Yeah. And then that's a good movie. Check that out. Also did that review on Judas and the Black Messiah. I thought that was a really great film. Very informational. Obviously, it comes from a historical point of view. I did not know much about the BPP or the Black Panther Party until I actually started digging into it after I watched the film. So I thought that film was heady. I thought it was on time. I thought it was an accurate depiction of not only the Chairman Fred Hampton, but the times that they lived in. Oftentimes, because I was born pretty much at the end of the Civil Rights Movement, and I didn't have the opportunity to live through some of the things that other people lived through. We're distanced from them, so sometimes it's good to go back and reflect on all of the things that transpired in order for us to have the things we do. Like, for instance, growing up, one of the things that I took for granted, was free lunch. So free lunch, I don't necessarily can say that it originally started because of all the things that happened during the quote-unquote civil rights movement and social justice reform, but we know free lunch is something that matters. Nutritious meals, specifically for a person like me, that was definitely a socially economic disadvantaged child. And then we still see some of the repercussions of some of the residue that is left over from that period in our nation's history, because the neighborhoods that you live in, whether you live by Walltown Street or whether you're a student at Carver High School or at Parkland, which is, just minutes away from an affluent area, straight up that road towards the mall. What's that? Yeah, the mall. When you look at all those stores over there, what's the name of those stores? From Lowe's to Target to Hobby Lobby, all back up in there, there's some really exclusive apartment buildings. And then, Winston's a circle that I've learned, and you really can't get lost, in my opinion. Of course you can, if you don't know where you're doing or where you're going at, if you're not from here. But for the most part, Winston is a big loop, which I learned rather quickly when I moved down here. There are definitely areas of influence, and then there's definitely pockets of food deprivation, pockets of economic stress. We know there are places where there are large amounts of people that are living on social or what do you call social, not social security, but the social services. And we know that kids have food insecurity. We know there's housing insecurity for many people right here in our own state. So these are, like I said, some of the issues that persist from that time, and issues that have been a part of the country and a part of the world for a long time. As the Bible says that, the poor you will always have with you. In our hearts, I would pray that we would want to be able to help and alleviate some of those conditions. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened, and it's one of my things that bothers me in life. So, yeah. So, I guess the reason that I jumped on was I was in Walmart and I was shopping. As I say, talks from the heart. I was in Walmart and I was shopping. And without fail, and I posted this on my Facebook page, there's always a kid in a basket, a cart. You ever see the mothers are shopping, the kids are in the cart, and the kids are just happy. They got a Pop-Tart or a piece of candy, and sometimes it's a little stressful for the parents, and they're trying to corral them all, whatever the case may be. But without fail, there is always a kid that looks up. Sometimes they go, "Daddy," just interesting. It's like, what? Do they know something I don't know? Anyway, I'm just making a joke of that. But the kid looks up, innocent, bubbly. They just want to talk to you. They don't know anything about you. They just think that you're just an interesting person. You're new. They haven't seen you before. They want to reach out, as babies, they want to touch. They want to say hi. They go, hi, wave. And sometimes the parents are nice and, smile. And then sometimes they're like, trying to corral the kid. And that's their right, or the case to be. But the point in that matter, as I wrote on my Facebook page, was it's amazing, kids, little ones, right? They don't know a lot of stuff that we teach them, right? They don't know not to like people. They don't know. They see you different, I assume, because I was a child. I don't remember much of my childhood, but they see you different. You look different for them, but the concepts that we have as adults, bad, good, black, white, yellow, brown, harsh, kind, and many of the other descriptions that we use of each other, that's foreign to them. You're just a person, a bigger person, speaks, eats, drinks, can feed them, whatever the case may be. And from a child perspective, I look at that because I said that that's the way they look. And then we happen, right? For those people that espouse different strong opinions about people, as I know somebody will probably listen to this and they hate what I say, and that's tough on them. It's my show. I say what I want, right? No, I'm just playing. No, but there's some truth to that. When I say that, people of color, I guess because the NAACP, National Association for Advancement of Colored People, and people like to say colored people, but I've always said that everybody's colored. Every single one of us, every one of us has a hue, a different color, right? From olive to morado, as they say in Spanish, to brown. Different colors of each and every one of us. I've never met a person that didn't have a color. I never met an opaque, clear person. Never. Now, if I'm wrong about that, somebody has, please enlighten me. Drop me in the inbox. I'm at CKLive27105. Hit me up on Twitter at CKLive27105, or at my name, Curtis Walker, on Twitter, or on Instagram, or on Facebook. Hit me up and tell me that, hey, somebody that's opaque, clear, completely transparent. Now, we want transparency in our lives. We want people to tell us the truth, and we want all these good things. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't give it back. That's a whole nother issue. But the point being is that I always say that we're people of color, all of us, every single one of us. And that's my opinion. And I think it's a really good opinion because I've never been proven wrong on that. Now, some people may argue up and down, this or that and this and that, and you're entitled to that. You're entitled to your opinion. But so am I. So I'm going to state my opinion. And people that know me say I'm a very opinionated person, and I am an opinionated person. I don't make apologies for some things. For instance, the Bible. I don't make apologies for the Bible. I always tell people that if you have you're really upset about that, then you should have a conversation with God. And I'm a big believer that God can speak for himself, and that God does speak for himself, and that God can give you understanding. The point of that conversation is that, do you want it? I had a conversation on Facebook the other day with someone. They were saying, we were talking about, I guess, pro-life, and I'm willing to sit down and talk to anybody about things that are in the Bible. I think that we need that. I think that we need more of that. I think, and it's not just the Bible. I think that the ability to sit down and to talk and to understand and to converse and to share ideas and concepts, I think it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, the point being about the kid is that before we get to, like, now, me as an older person, at some point, all the things that I know now, I did not know. And from a child's perspective, I think as the Bible says, unless you become like children, you cannot, have the childlike faith. Children have childlike faith for a reason, right? They trust their parents, feed them, clothe them, bathe them, protect them, right? Guide them. And I think that last word there, the guiding part, is the problem that changes the world. And I will say this just from the experience that I encountered today, just as one experience. I'm going to use that as a metric for all experiences. Before I was taught anything that I know now, right? I did not know what racism was. Before I was taught anything that I know now, before I went through all my years, I didn't know what it was to be a bigot. I didn't know the concept of hate when I was 2 or 3 years old. I didn't know that, and I'm quite sure that many people didn't know that. You knew love, right? Or from a child point of view, you love your parents. Mommy, I love you. As they say, one of the first words that we ever learn in our growth and development is no, right? Because it's no, don't touch that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. But one of the best words that we ever learn is the affirmative word, is I love you. And, when your children, one of the great lines that the parents hear all the time, Mommy, can I? Yes. Mommy, can I? Yes. Mommy, can I? Yes. And I say Mommy, but also Daddy, can I? Daddy, can I? Daddy, can I? Daddy, can I? So love is the greatest emotion and the most concrete emotion that I would figure that children learn at their first. And now we live in a different day and age with so many other things, but we will get to some of that stuff, in my opinion on that. As I say, I'm an opinionated person. But I was just struck at that instant today in the store where the child, he's reaching up and saying hi, waving, smiling, and you smile back, they smile, and sometimes they're stoic because they're trying to figure it out in their little brains and everything. But before all the stuff that makes us who we are, as I say, and then we happen, imagine if from that moment in this child's life that he doesn't encounter any of the things that we encounter, right? That we don't teach him what it's like to hate somebody on the basis of their skin, on their hair color, or, if we like them or don't like them, we don't poison them. As you say, some people don't like somebody, so they tell everybody else that they don't like them, so they get everybody on their side. We call that politic, and that actually is a word that comes from the Bible. If you look in James chapter 3, and that's another discussion as well. We can get into that at some point. But I thought that was just an incredible moment right there, and a life lesson. What if we just don't listen to all the other stuff that people say, right? All the divisive stuff that, you shouldn't hang with this person because, or you shouldn't like that person because, right? What if we really did do what the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, that we judge people on the content and the character, not the color of their skin? What if we were really like that? What if we espouse the wholesome values that are inherently built in us, but we get lost in this thing called life? What if we go back to some of those? As they say, people don't have to like the Bible, but I can tell you what, a lot of the morals that are espoused in the Bible, right? People would say, right? Because what do people say? Don't lie to me. Well, that's in the Bible. Love your mom and dad. That's in the Bible, right? Love your neighbors yourself, right? Or, you need to treat people the way you want to be treated in the Bible, right? Respect people. Be polite, be kind, be courteous to one another. That's in the Bible, right? Well, don't go stealing people. It's in the Bible. Yo, that's wrong. Murder is wrong, man. You shouldn't be doing that. You need to protect people's life. Thou shalt not kill. That's in the Bible, right? Yo, bro, why are you so envious? Why are you always hating on people? You know? Oh, well, you know what? Don't be covetous of one another. Don't let envy, wrath, malice be in your members. Oh, that's in the Bible. Yeah. Bro, why can't we just get along, man? Why you always got to disagree? Why don't you just look for some common ground? Oh, seek those things that make for peace. That's in the Bible. Man, you need to get your head together, bro. You need to get your head together, man. Your thoughts is just wrong. Oh, think on the things that are good or just, that are pure, whatever there be that are good, that are these things to think on. In the Bible. In the Bible. And you're probably saying, I'm making a defense of the Bible. No, I'm not making a defense of the Bible because I don't think it needs to be defended. But what I'm saying is that what if we went back to some of the morals and the values that were taught to us, the people in my age bracket, in my quote unquote, my generation? What if some of those morals and values were promoted today instead of some of the other morals and values that are promoted today? What would that be like? And I'm not saying the world will ever be perfect. And I'm not saying that humanity is perfect. I'm not a humanist. I'm not a totalitarian. I'm not a utilitarian. I'm not a utopian. I understand the reality of this thing called life. As long as we as humans that are imperfect and fallible and they make mistakes, even though we don't want to admit them, and sometimes we cover them up and try to hide them, we run around with the fig leaf like Adam. And God says, he asked the question, Adam, where are you? He didn't ask the question, Adam, where are you? Because he couldn't see. He didn't know where he was. He wanted you to realize, what you're doing. And so many times we as parents do that same question, but yet we can kind of look at God as if he did something wrong. Because what do you ask your children? What are you doing? Right? And you don't ask them that because you don't know what they're doing. You ask them to say, it's more like, do you see what you're doing to yourself? Right? So my point behind that is, before we teach our children any of these things, and I was fortunate, as I've said in other videos, that my mom is her own person, but I did not know what it. I never heard some of the racial epithets that you would hear at other people's houses. I'm not saying people hear them in my house, but I didn't understand that thing until I was basically like 19, 20, because it wasn't just a part of my life and my experiences. As people know, I live with my godparents for a couple of years, and my godmother makes a big imprint on my life. And I'm much of a loner, right? And not a loner because I think that I'm unfriendly, because I think I'm friendly. I don't know, but then that's other people's decision to make my own character. But I'm a loner. But at the same time, I realize that the world's a big place and we're all interconnected and integrated. And I just, going back to that instance today with the child, what if we didn't teach him all that stuff? Right? What if we didn't? What if we didn't? Because one thing I can tell you, growing up, poor was poor, right? Having shoes was having shoes. Not having shoes was not having shoes. Not knowing if you were going to eat dinner or not knowing if you were going to eat breakfast. We used to go to the store and get bologna and cheese. My mom, oh my goodness, my mom used to go to the store and get $2 worth of cheese and $1 worth of bologna, and we would make sandwiches, and that would get us through the day. That was our lunch and stuff like that. And so poor is poor. As I say, I was P to the O, not the O and the R. And there's no shame in that. When we look at poor or poverty in the United States in comparison to po or poverty in other countries, as I tell people all the time that, disparage this country as bad as it may seem, as bad as the things that have gone on, you don't want to be in other countries and be poor. Poor people have it much better here than probably, I would say, many, if not all, of the third world countries or underdeveloped countries. At least a poor person knows they can get a hot place to eat. And I hate talking about that or stuff like that. But the point being is that what if we didn't tell them all the things that we've become. And we excluded that, and we let these children grow up with a different mindset, and we let them formulate their view. As you say, kids in a pen when you go to daycare, and I used to be at a daycare, so my mom used to own a daycare. If you let those kids go out there, right, and they play, they don't know any of that stuff, man. They just play. And yeah, they'll get rough, and kids can get selfish, and one wants the pail, and one wants to run up and down the scale, and one wants to do it all and everything like that. But you know, at the end of the day, they'll get upset, and then tomorrow they'll be out there together playing again. And the great thing that I find about them, and this is just my experience, and it's not everybody's experience, if one kid doesn't show up, all the other kids like asking about them. Hey, we're such and such. We're such and such. And they could have just had it out for the pail in the sandbox yesterday, or out for a chair, or out for the last cupcake, or whatever the case may be. But tomorrow, they'll be back out there together. And I so wish that we were more like that instead of the way that we are. And I wish that we could learn that lesson that, you know, before we happen to them, they don't know any of that stuff, man. They don't want to be like that. We turn them into that. We turn each and every one of us into that. And if we could just stop turning each and every one of us into that, we can make a better world. We can make a better community. We can make a better neighborhood. We can make better families. So anyway, so that's my talk from the heart. That's all I got. Again, my name is Curtis Walker. I am a blogger and a student. And yeah, I wish that we were more like that. I wish. So, hey, it's been real, and I guess I will see you on the other side. So, yeah, you guys take care. Enjoy your night. Tomorrow's Sunday. Hope that you'll be up in church, giving God the praise and the glory. Be thankful for the things that you have. Be thankful for the people that you have in your life. One of those things that I always say is that, hey, I don't live in Europe. I live right here in Winston. So enjoy, people. Enjoy. Have a great life. Have a great night. Stay out of trouble, as they say. And I will see you on the other side. Take care.